Well, time has flown. I don't know where the time's gone. I think the hairline's gone a bit further back. But other than that, it's just absolutely disappeared, the time. As you say, when I was first elected, I couldn't have imagined that come 2019 I'd be in the role of Minister for Health and Social Care. There's lots of challenges. There's been lots of challenges in general in Tynwald over the last couple of years. And I think that this has been a Tynwald that has started stepping up the plate to take on some of those great challenges, abortion reform being one, medicinal cannabis, where we've just had the consultation results out, and also reform of the health services, and of course another big one as well, the steam packet. Well, it's been an overwhelming response. Absolutely massive to the consultation. We couldn't have asked for more. I did urge people at the time when I launched the consultation to fill it in, and they've done so en masse. It's got to be one of the top responded to consultations the Isle of Man government's ever had. We now have the results, massively in favour of people for medicinal cannabis, and also a very good response to the industrial hemp consultation as well, where people should believe it should be a regulated industry on the island. So in terms of the consultation, it was 99% in favour of the medicinal cannabis, and the industrial hemp was a bit more complicated because there was questions around the regulations and what type of regulations, but again it was an overwhelming response to say that we should be going ahead and doing it and having it as a regulated industry. Well, the sea services one I'm absolutely delighted with, because that was in my manifesto that I actually stated I believe that government should hold a golden share in the steam packet and have it corporatised. So I'm delighted that that's gone through. I think it actually secures what I called in my manifesto the lifeline for the island, because that's what it is at the end of the day. If the planes didn't take off for a couple of weeks, we'd survive. If the boat didn't go for a couple of weeks, you've got a bit more of a fundamental problem. In relation to Douglas Promenade, I was a Douglas councillor before I became MHK. I spent nearly a decade on Douglas Council, and one of the things that I was always most highly critical of was the state of the promenade. The last time prior to this that there'd actually been a proper refurbishment was 1936. So that puts it into context, the last time something proper was done with it. And what seemed to be happening was there was constant different schemes coming forward, some lunatic stuff as far as I was concerned about putting the horse trams onto the pavement and various other things. Lots of argument and not much happening. So again, under this administration, things are now moving. It's frustrating, of course, and particularly for businesses down there, that they've got all this disruption. But the end, I think, will justify the means, so to speak. So the deficit within the department has been, we haven't been having to go back for quite so much supplementary votes. Yeah. It was frustrating this year that the department did have to come back yet again for another supplementary vote, and no one was more frustrated about that than me as Minister, who of course had to take the motion to Tynwald. I think we are heading in the right direction. The Sir Jonathan Michael review has laid out a great pathway forward. As I said in Tynwald last month when the review came forward, we'd have been stupid not to take it on board, and now it's about delivery. There's a transformation team being put in place, an independent transformation team with the Chief Secretary chairing it, so it's been moved out of the department, because again, one of the things that I've always been critical of is there's been health review and after health review, but one of the reasons they've never ended up being implemented is what we do is we have a lot of hard working dedicated staff across DHSC, but also snowed under staff with a lot of work on. And what has happened in the past is we've just said, well, as well as trying to do your day-to-day job, would you mind just terribly trying to implement this 600-page review or something as well when you've got a spare moment? That's never going to deliver anything. So the approach that's been taken now about a proper independent transformation team sat within the Cabinet Office, chaired by the Chief Secretary, is the way forward. But I think it's exciting times for health and social care. If we do this properly, we will have a health and social care system that could be the envy of other jurisdictions. I passionately believe that. And I believe also that the staff on the ground who've been slogging day in, day out, and have been for many years shouting about the need for change, hopefully they now feel they are being listened to. Well, 2019, there's several things that I've already set, one of which, quite crucially, is the proper development of an ME service on the island, because that has been lacking. It has been frustrating how long it's taken. The last 18 months that I've been Minister, I've been trying to move the service forward so that we can actually deliver something. I've made quite clear that it's got to be delivered in this financial year, but also I see this year as being the year of the community for the department. Because we've got to get away from being acute focused and getting more services out into the community. So this is the year of the community where we need to start making that step change. Well, obviously there's lots of day-to-day constituency issues. There's certainly at the moment a few issues with the state of the roads up there in Douglas North. So I've very much focused on that, and obviously trying to represent the constituents as best as I can. I like to think that I'm approachable, and I will always try to do my best to represent people. You can't always deliver what they want, and sometimes it is about going back and having the hard conversations to say, actually, that's not realistic. But, the people of Douglas North put their trust in me 2.5, nearly coming up to 3 years ago, and I'm hoping over the 5 years I can repay that trust.